I'm looking for us. We're live. Hey, everybody.
Is there anybody there?
No. Just me.
Well, it's just me and you talking then. We should go on our group thing and our, hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hello.
In our event page and let everybody know. I mean, how in the world they forgot to begin with, who knows? Out there?
Victor's watching.
Hey, Victor.
I'm watching.
Well, you're in the show. Did you post in the event thing?
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it.
I shared it on our page, and I shared it on my personal page.
We've never let this whole song play.
Scott Lincoln's watching.
All right.
Song.
Yeah, right. So we're here, and we are live. Pearl, you want to go for it? This is, what is this? Oh, Pearl, you go for it.
Welcome back to another edition of The Business We've Chosen. That's what I do every time I do it.
Even when we're recording and nobody can see us.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I get really excited. This is episode 12. It is our second official Facebook Live. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
All right, so yeah, this is our second official,
Hey,
second
Sandy.
literal Facebook Live was the Gillette commercial, and that's something we just decided to do hours before we did it. But this is the second one that we had planned out, so the idea is that we'll do one of these every month, and I think it's ended up being more this month, obviously, because of the Gillette thing.
Well, yeah, I've only done it for like 2 months now. So
Really? The Facebook Live stuff?
Yeah, we did it once when we said in the last week of December, and now January.
Yeah, so
Right?
anyways, this is our third official. And Perla, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about keeping it interesting. Am I loud enough?
Yeah,
Do
you
I
sound-
hear myself?
I don't know. That's a personal question. So we're talking about keeping it interesting on set and in a relationship. Perla?
Yes. We are talking
with me.
about, sorry, I'm distracted.
Yep. What are we talking about, Perla? Come
About
on.
keeping it interesting on set and in a relationship. And
Take it away.
so our first thing that we're talking about, you have all the notes. Hold on.
This is what happened when Perla gets distracted. We
I
tried
got
to put a computer screen here for her.
It's all too much. It doesn't matter.
All right.
I got my food and then I got dressed really late, so I'm not prepared anymore.
That's always an excuse. Do I have anything for that?
Oh,
for
but
an
you were
excuse?
supposed to give it to me in the right order.
Seen a
Hey,
grown
Benny.
man naked?
What's
Yes,
up, Benny?
I have. You're supposed to give me the whole thing in the right order.
Doesn't matter. So we are starting out what we said we're going to start out with today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. One of them is keeping it interesting. That's the whole theme or topic for today's show. One of them is keeping it interesting on set. One of them is keeping it interesting in a relationship. We have movie reviews or show reviews to do. We have two different reviews for
FYRE, the documentary on Netflix.
and it's spelled FYRE, and it's about that damn festival some bastard
FYRE
put
Festival?
together and some idiots believe that we're
I
happening.
always want it to be called the FYRE Festival.
The FYRE Festival, but it's called the FYRE Festival. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, and we also just watched Abducted in Plain Sight.
Abducted in Plain Sight.
That was out on another documentary on Netflix. And we're going to tell you what we thought of them. But first, we're going to talk about what we did most recently. Most recently, we shot something for Perla. Can you reach it?
I am.
Perla's going to try to reach it. We shot, be careful because I think it's open.
No, it's
We shot a promo for The one and only Alamo Candy Company. Is that what it's called? Alamo
Yeah,
Candy Company?
Alamo Candy Company.
What else does it say on there? Like
This
live and
box,
laugh.
it says Alamo Candy Company, the great taste of Texas.
The great
and then
taste
it
of
says
Texas.
something special just for you.
There you go. So
if you haven't eaten these things, they're delicious. They're called the Picosito belts or
if
something.
you don't think you're special, that is something special just for you, right, Perla? Yeah. So these are pretty awesome for anybody that's Mexican. You
or
probably,
not. You don't have to be Mexican.
Well, first of all, if you are Mexican, you probably know about these. If you're not Mexican, and you try to be, you probably know about these. Or if you just like sweet stuff, and salty stuff at the same time. This is just a mess. If you like sweet and salty stuff at the same time, you probably
sweet.
know about these.
It's a little bit spicy.
So
it's delicious.
Perla, so the promo came out, and it's just one more example. And we have really big news about what the current events that happened from the Smashing Pumpkins promo, but we can't share it with you guys yet. But it's just one more example of how you should always be shooting and working with people and building new relationships with new businesses if you're in the this business that we've chosen, doing filmmaking and commercial video work and multimedia video work. But yeah, we got to work with Alamo Candy Company. Perla, can you tell everybody a little bit about the promo that Perla essentially directed it and I'm
a creative genius, guys.
She was the creative genius behind the video.
So basically the idea was I was going to make a video about stuff that I like, and these candies are out for Valentine's Day. They have these ones with the belts. They have another one with the cherry bombs that we've already eaten. I may have eaten all of it.
They're awesome. The cherry bombs are awesome.
They're delicious. If you haven't tried them, get them. So we were going to go out and just buy these things and make a fun little video. Instead, we reached out to the Alamo Candy Company, talked to a couple people there and said, hey, we were thinking about doing this. Could you share it? So basically they gave us this candy. We made a video and they loved it and they shared it. So
that easy, that simple. So now we have
to eat this.
Now we have a good working relationship with the people. Who was it there at the Alamo Candy Company that we
Jessica Gomez.
Jessica Gomez,
Probably
but then
put the whole thing in my mouth.
But then that's what she said. But then yes. We also talked to somebody else. So through Patty, we talked to somebody else who talked to Jessica. Who was that?
So we just had this random conversation with Buddy's cousin Patty, and she said, "Oh yeah, I know the owner of that place because that's what the Calvo family likes to do is like say things like that." And so we called her out on it, and she was like, "Well, I don't really know the owner, but I know this guy who's related to this person who works there, and she's part of this family." So through Patty, we met. She called somebody, and somebody gave us this number, and I talked to Jessica, and she was amazing, very cool. I have too much candy in my mouth.
So Perla talked to Jessica. It's amazing. Perla puts too much stuff in her mouth when she's doing a live podcast. And it was amazing. And Perla did a great job, as usual, producing the shit out of it and getting us in touch to the right people. And thanks to Patty and thanks to Jessica and thanks to, do we know his name?
I don't know his name.
We don't know his name. But somebody did say on here, I'm going to try. What is the name there? I know. Is that the real name? Your last name can't be Watchman.
That's my cousin.
It is?
Yeah.
But how do you say that first name? That's your cousin? You don't want to say the first name?
His name's Jesse.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Viviana, George. Sorry for being late. It's all right, George. Scott Langford, how you doing, brother? How's it going out there? Hey, Victor. We already said hi to Victor. Say hi to him again.
Hi, Victor.
If you guys know anybody else who has Facebook, this thing called Facebook.
The Books of Faces.
The Books of Faces. Or if you know anybody else who has
Jennifer?
a phone or social media, tell them to get on here right now and tune in because we hope to say some stuff that is worth listening to today as opposed to like last time. I'm just playing. We hope to say some stuff that is
a lot of important things last time.
Well, importance.
It was our last one was way too long though.
It was pretty.
And
you
it
talking
was
about
one
Gillette?
topic, yeah.
The Gillette thing I thought it was awesome.
Okay.
We had some really good things to say. So Alamo Candy Company. Moving on. It was awesome. Perla can eat a million of those things, or did I say that last time? I can eat a million of these things.
Yeah, you posted that. And you said I could eat a million of these things.
I like them. What do you
we
want me to do?
legit finished the entire cherry bomb.
I was sick for about 2 days eating them, but they're great. I absolutely love them, and hopefully we can work with Alamo Candy Company much, much more. All right, so we are moving on.
It's showtime.
And we are talking about keeping things interesting on set. First, we're talking about on set. On a film set, when you're doing production, you can translate this to any kind of business you own or have or a place of business that you work at. Maybe some of the stuff is applicable. Maybe
I think it is. I think it just really relates to keeping things interesting at work, because when we're on a set, that's our job, and that's all encompassing, and we are there and we're with this team of people all day, every day, like 12-hour days at least, sometimes longer. You have to work afterwards with the different production team, especially behind the scenes. And if you don't like the people you're working with, it sucks, just like any other job. So it is a lot of serious work on a film set to do what you have to do to pull off everything you have, because you have a limited amount of time. It's not like I can go back the next day and do this, or my report didn't come in, so I'll come in early and finish it. No, that's tons of people you have to keep getting involved. So, it's pretty serious. You have your time deadlines, you have constraints, but you want to have fun. And luckily, we've always gotten to work with people that we really enjoy. We call them like our film family, people we worked with the first time, and you get to know them and you get comfortable with
we
them.
worked
And you
with a
get
lot
to
of bastards too.
No, we haven't.
But you get comfortable. What were you saying?
You get comfortable with these people and they're your family, and then you get to play around, you have fun, you find inside jokes, and there's just lots of different things you can do to keep it fun and exciting and wanting you to go back to set the next day.
And interesting. Historically speaking.
Sorry, the word is interesting.
Historically speaking, from my point of view, the right point of view. Perla's right. I think we both agree on all this anyway. But I think like me and a lot of our crew friends would say, making the movie is sometimes a whole lot more fun than the actual movie turns out to be.
I agree.
What I mean to say is, like, you could be making a film that you have no interest in, a silly, whatever, a cop and robbers film, or a film about a beach ball or something, and it could really, really, really suck. I'm not saying this has happened to us. I'm not saying we've been in a bunch of sucky movies. I'm not saying we haven't. But the point is, a lot of the times making the movie is way more fun and more interesting. And I mean, that in itself, if there was a movie made about that consistently, it's way cooler than the finished product, because the finished product is generally a work of fiction, and romance or sex scenes or action scenes or whatever, and it's all fake. It's a movie. But everything that's happening behind the lens, you want drama, you want sex, you want action, you want comedy. It's all there behind the lens. I mean, from when the movies gets conceived and everything, all the way up until when you're doing production, even into post-production, there is still a lot of drama and shit and stuff going on. That's, can sometimes be far more interesting than what's going on in front of the camera. But specifically, we're talking about how to make things interesting when you're on a film set. So working with a film crew can be amazing, like anything else. And like we said, sometimes it's more interesting. I'm trying to see my notes here. One time I was working on a film, and me and Perla have done projects on our own, and working with some friends. I don't remember where I was.
I think you were outside of Dallas.
Maybe outside of Dallas. And I got there to be the second AD. I believe that's what I was. And I got put in a hotel room, kind of nice hotel, whatever, nothing fancy. And the first night I was there, it was awesome because I'm by myself in the hotel room, and it had 2 beds. But I kept thinking, maybe they know how important I am. What kind of I'm Buddy fucking Calvo.
I'm kind of a big deal.
You know what I mean? So maybe they got me a room with a room all for myself. Yeah, it has 2 beds, whatever. It's fucked up. They should have had one big king size bed, but it's okay. We're not going to get mad about it. So I get to spend the first night there by myself. And what?
But what happened that first day on set? Why did you have your room to yourself?
The first day on set.
That you were on set.
Because somebody got fired?
Yes.
Yes. The first day I was on set, somebody, we're not going to go into because I don't want people to figure out who I'm talking about, but somebody got fired. My boss, the second AD, I'm the second AD, fired some motherfucker because he was out of his mind. And I didn't figure out till that night he was the one who was going to be rooming with me, so that's why I had the room to myself. So the next day, they bring in someone to replace him. And, we're all kicking ass and doing our thing. And that night, we have a full 12-hour day. And that night, I go to my room. And I open the door to go to my room. I think I was out with some other crew members having fun or something. And so this person already had the opportunity to come to the hotel room. So when I opened the door to come into the hotel room, this guy is laying on his bed, jacking off. This guy's jerking. I mean, he's.
Perhaps you'd like me to come in there and wash your dick for you.
This guy's doing.
But
his
underneath
thing.
the blanket.
Underneath the blanket. I mean, I don't know if that makes it any better. I'm not an idiot.
Like you didn't walk in and see him standing there staring at your photo or something.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it had nothing to do with me. I don't know. Why
I'm
you
just
threw me in the
saying.
mix.
I'm just trying to make it completely.
I did
up.
not walk in and see the man's penis. So he's there. He's jerking and he's going to town. He's having a ball. And I walk in, rock and roll, we're fucking making, shit. And I go, oh, and I turn around and I'm like, oh, fuck it. And he's like, hey man. And before I walked in the door, I'm not an idiot either. I make sure to make a lot of noise, and I didn't want to
because you knew that you were getting a roommate, right?
Yeah, well, I think either I was told or I knew. And so I made a lot of noise. I might have even knocked, like, to hit the door or whatever. I mean, I made my presence known. I'm about to walk in the fucking door. And this guy didn't give a damn, or he didn't hear me. So I didn't go to my bed when I saw him. He saw me, he just jumps up and I go to the restroom instead. This is embarrassing. So I go to the restroom, and then I eventually have to come out. I mean, I don't know how long I was in there.
He said something to you before you walked into the restroom, though. No.
Tell me, because you don't have a bad memory.
So Buddy calls me and he's telling me this story, and
Where was I telling you the story, after or during the restroom?
You were there. Yeah, you were in the restroom, and I think you were whispering. No, take it back. You didn't go into the restroom. You walked in, and he jumped up and said something to you and went into the restroom, and that's when you called me because he turned the shower on. Do you remember what he said to you?
Something like, I left you some lotion. Or
Yeah, he had the lotion bottle next to the bed, and he told Buddy, "Don't worry, I left you some too." And he ran into the bathroom.
So it's late, and I knew we were apart. I thought I went to the restroom. I knew we were apart. So I have to fake it like I'm gonna go to sleep, or I have to force myself to go to sleep. And the whole night I'm freaking out, thinking, I hope this guy doesn't get so horribly embarrassed that he tries to murder me or something. What's that noise?
I don't know. Is it your iPod?
No,
Oh,
you have
it's
the
my
audio.
computer. Sorry, guys. That's me.
So the whole time I'm thinking, I hope this guy doesn't get mortified and, like, in the middle of the night be like, oh, I can't believe if this guy saw that. What if he goes out and he talks shit and I'm gonna fucking kill him? And I'm literally legit paranoid. So I'm sitting there saying, fuck it, motherfucker, try it. Try to come and do something. I'll fucking kill you. So I'm laying there looking all night, just moving around. I didn't get a restful sleep or nothing. So the next day or whatever, I'm
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I want to keep things to myself and everything. I end up telling a couple people there. He may have gotten a nickname or not. I don't remember. Certainly not to his face. Who gives a shit? But anyway, that kept that. We got way off track. That kept that film set and that group of people and whatnot. That kept it very interesting for me. I mean, that was interesting. That kept me on my toes, and that was interesting. Perla, do you have anything?
When we were on another film outside of Dallas, it was in this little bitty town whose name I can't think of, Winsboro, Westboro, something borough. It was a really small town. We got hired to work on production. I think I was just like a PA, and Buddy was, I believe, second AD again. They rented out the hotel, the bed and breakfast, and like 2 bed and breakfasts to house everybody on our casting crew. So we were in this really, really janky, old, disgusting bed and breakfast.
Who says janky?
Like, it was so disgusting. We walked in and I made Buddy drive me 45 minutes away to Walmart to buy new sheets and new towels and new cleaning stuff. I was just grossed out. I don't like gross, dirty things. And it was just old and musky and not cute.
She likes dirty things.
We'll get to that in a minute. But it was just kind of really crappy conditions. The other crew was in this motel that was not much better. But everybody had so much fun because we were there and we were all in it together. Nobody had something that was way like 5-star compared to anybody else. We were all in this kind of gross spot, but we had a lot of fun. We had tons of long days, but like our crew we weren't really involved because whatever, but our crew, everybody went and they had theme days. So like one day was a superhero day and everybody drove to the one Walmart that was there and they bought different superhero shirts or onesies or whatever. And then they had a thing called Teeny Tiny Tuesdays and all the G&E crew went and they cut their jeans and they had the shortest shorts you've ever seen. And it was like the best part of my life. Ryan McMichael, you know what I'm talking about. They were just hilarious. And so they're doing like serious hardcore work with these really short cutoff shorts and their cowboy boots because we're in the middle of this ranch. And, you know, you just have to come up with things that make you laugh and know that you're going to take your job serious, but still have some sort of fun and keep everything interesting because God knows when the talent came on set and they saw these Genie guys carrying like crazy lights to set up wearing cutoff shorts, they had a good time too. Like, okay, I know I'm here to work, but everybody's having fun. This is cool.
So, yeah, I remember that, and it was really cool of them to do that. And it's just things that we take upon ourselves, little inside jokes, little challenges that we'll do with each other on set when you're on crew. I remember being in that same town, in that same bed and breakfast, and we always, all of us, the whole team, the whole crew, 25 people, go to the same restaurant every day. Like when we've wrapped for the day, everyone's going there, or everyone's going there for lunch. And the G&E crew or some other members of the crew were at a different motel, maybe 5-10 minutes away from us. And they put a projector up on the side of the wall, and they're playing video games, or I think they were playing Guitar Hero, or they're doing karaoke.
They put up a movie. They pulled a projector out, and we watched Pepper and Paula.
And it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. It's a lot of camaraderie. It feels like camp, except you're getting paid to go.
And I never went to camp.
You're having fun with your friends, and you're making a movie. In the end, you do want to do a good job, and you do want to make your movie.
Sorry, guys.
And it's a lot of fun. So those are, and I remember going and working all day, and we have a call time the next morning. So you finish your day, you've worked for 12 hours, and it's 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, and then you have a call time of the next day for 8 a.m. Well, I remember people would come over to where we were, the bed and breakfast, because it had a pool, and their motel didn't have a pool, so the whole crew is there, and we're the only ones there in that bed and breakfast. We rented out the whole place, and everyone's staying up. Remember, we have to be up at 8 in the morning on set, ready to go, which means some of us have to be up at 5 in the morning to get shit prepped for the 8 in the morning, and we're out there all night, drinking, eating, partying, swimming, till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, going back to our rooms, sleeping for an hour or two, and then waking up and getting back to work. Why would you do that? How do you? I mean, you're in it. We're in the shit. We're doing it. We're filmmakers. We're rocking and rolling. We're keeping things interesting, and as long as you can do your job and keep kicking ass, nobody gives a fuck. I mean, we're doing it. Playing little games and stuff. I know. I know people played little games with clothespins, what they call C-47s on a film set, and they, you do
try
little,
to pin them to people without them noticing.
I know, like on Tarantino's, you talk about bigger film sets. Tarantino has this thing. We did it for the movie Stage 5 as well, but not with a dildo. Tarantino has this thing. I think it's called Big John, Big John, or Big Tom, or Big somebody.
And that
Big
was
Jerry.
we saw this in the documentary that we mentioned last with the episode with Scott, right? Full Tilt Boogie.
Full Tilt Boogie.
There you go.
Tarantino, on every film set Quentin Tarantino does, if you fall asleep, no matter if you're an A-list actor or you're a crew member or whatnot, Tarantino has this giant purple dildo that he brings out. And there's pictures of Brad Pitt, there's pictures of Leo DiCaprio, there's pictures of all sorts of crew members with that dildo as close as humanly possible, maybe about this close, with it to people's mouths as they're asleep, and they take a picture. Sometimes they put the picture on the dildo board, the sleeping board. Sometimes if it's a big enough start, they'll print shirts with it. I know they printed shirts with Brad Pitt's face and a purple dildo by it that the crew wore like the next day or 2 days later. It keeps everybody on their toes, like you don't want to fall asleep, so that doesn't happen to you. And 2, keeps things interesting. If the crew morale and the general vibe on set isn't where it needs to be, then the work suddenly doesn't get done as fast as it needs to get done, or the spirit and the mood of everybody isn't where it needs to be. Almost like a happy home. You want a happy film set. And I think it's very important to the success of a film. At the very least, the success of getting the production side of the film done. Are people going to like it because we were taking pictures of dildos and having a blast on set? No. But we're going to do our job. So hopefully you've written a great film and the actors have done their job and whatnot because the crew did their job.
And then, so that's always cool and that's fun. And other things that have happened to keep things interesting is a lot of the times that we've not been involved in it actually, but on some of the films that we worked on or some of the crew that we've worked with, while they're on the film, they're kind of bunking together. They're hanging out. You build like a real rapport with your people. They're your family, and they've made a movie within the movie. So they have all the equipment there ready to do what they need to do to make a movie. So they'll go on their own and they shoot these little short films that are like happening sub films in this film. But it's like, what was that one that Ryan did? Ryan always has the best
I don't
ideas.
think Ryan ever did it. I don't think he ever got to finish it.
No, they did. They did the one with him and Sloan.
Oh, where they did a medals, like Olympics or something like that.
No, where they were in love.
I don't remember.
Oh, I have to show you. Okay, maybe Buddy hasn't seen it, but it's.
But that you guys get the point. We've done so many fun things. One night at the end of we've done so many fun things in general. When we were doing one of our earlier films, we did a film called The Powder Kids, and we didn't have permission to. I think I've told this story before, but we shut down the streets of downtown San Antonio, and no real permission at all to do this. Total loopholes that we got. And then we needed a car chase scene to go on down the streets of downtown San Antonio.
So that people could run through it.
So that our actors and stunt people could run through these cars. Well, if you're doing this legitimately, there's all sorts of coordination with the city, the San Antonio Police Department, EMS. I'm sure like the Department of Public, like DPS. And then all the traffic and stuff that we learned later for Stage 5 that we were supposed to legitimately do.
It was one of our first big projects, and we were really young and dumb.
And we just kind of got a cop and
But
closed
really
off
brave.
the street and whatnot. So anyway, my point is, my dad is driving one of these cars down the street, and our stunt people are running through these cars. I mean, inches away from their legs, and we're filming it. And it just, I mean, the whole crew knew we didn't have like legit permits and everything. And we're all young to it, because if I try to do that nowadays, everyone would say, you're crazy. I'm not going to work on that project. I get it. We all grew up from then. But it certainly kept things interesting in the moment and time and whatnot. And then the things we were able to pull off, like when the people from VIA, the top dogs came down to find out what the hell's going on with our buses. Like, they said they can't get through these streets, and city planners didn't tell us that this was happening. The people from VIA go down there to chew me out. What the hell are you doing? And they're yelling at me, and the whole crew's looking, and it's an interesting day, right? I ended up making friends with a guy. He starts telling me, you what the hell are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And the conversation turns into, you have a daughter who wants to act. You should bring her down here, bro. Well, do you need to use one of our buses? Yeah, well, bring a bus through here. And we were fine. Mm-hmm. Danny Duberstein them. We finished what we needed to. We finished our day. It was a badass day on set. The movie was a travesty, but it's okay. I mean, we did our part. But it
looked really nice. It had some really amazing production value and
cinematography. Another story, keeping things interesting. Do you have one? Yeah.
I worked on a film. I produced a film that was filmed in LA and Hawaii, and
did you?
Oh, I did, and it was no, I don't. And I mean, I am, but so we're filming on this beach in Hawaii, and we made the schedule so that we would have time in one morning to actually go out and enjoy the beach. So I got up, I went to the beach, I walked across the street, I was swimming with my 4 Frenchmen who are our production team. And then, it was cool and it was fun. And then it was like, okay, now we got to get our shit together. Like, let's really go back because we have to finish this film today. So that kept it interesting, trying to make sure that we enjoyed some time. But it was like, oh, crap, you got to find your good time in here to have fun. And then we got to get to work. And then that night, I think it was Valentine's Day. So it was my first married Valentine's Day. And I had this romantic sushi dinner.
Did I send you something? Like flowers or something from me?
No, nothing. So I just had a romantic sushi dinner with a table of my crew. And it was really nice. It was the most delicious sushi in the world.
I don't know how the hell that has to do with keeping.
It was really interesting for me.
So
because they were treating me to some amazing benefits.
Fair enough.
I've lost my brain right now.
we on the end of our biggest production that we've ever done. It's a movie called Stage 5. Perla, where is it available?
Stage 5 is available on Amazon, Google,
She doesn't know.
Netflix, a few other places.
So on
Anywhere
the
you can find streaming video to purchase.
on the biggest production we've ever done, movie called Stage 5. We didn't have an official rap party. We a lot of Stage 5 was very dramatic on our end, like producing and directing, and so we didn't get a lot of the fun behind the scenes. That's a whole nother thing. When you're the top dog or the head of the ship or whatever the hell you want to call somebody, it's not always that easy to be able to bond and have fun with the crew. I usually have a much better time like making a movie as a crew member versus like being the top dog of it. Anyway, it's the last day of the film set. It's the last day of shooting, and our makeup artist, who will remain nameless. I mean, there's only one fucking guy on there, so you're going to figure out who it is. Our makeup artist was interested in somebody there on set. He wanted to talk to him, date him, get to know him, whatever.
Oh, I had no idea what you were talking about for a second.
And we had a trailer, a production trailer, that one of our associate producers rented for us. I don't know if I've ever told this story to where
it was a makeup trailer. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, it was a makeup trailer. But these are all rented. They're trailers that we get. And I promised the makeup artist, the special effects makeup artist, I'll find that person, this woman, this girl, and I'll send her to, we're all friends, so I'm not like tricking her or nothing. I'm like, hey, so and so, and they had already talked. He's looking for you. So instead of sending her, I went back and I told the crew, because I didn't get to have a lot of fun and whatnot. So I'm itching for something.
I think you missed a little part of it.
What?
You didn't send her. He said, hey, she and I are going back to my trailer, so just make sure nobody comes over here.
Yeah. So she was
and he
already
told the wrong person.
She was already going. So I go back and I get everyone together, and there's like 20 of us there, and the makeup trailer's tiny. It's a little trailer. You can squish people in there, but I mean, it's meant for 2 or 3 people. It's tiny. So I go back to where everyone is eating and everything, and I go, guys, so and so, they're together. Let's go over there. So we all march out in a line. Everyone's, it's last night. I think we're done filming. Oh no, it's the second to the last night.
Yeah, we still have a whole nother day to film.
We have the next day we're filming. It's our last night, but the next day we finish filming, then we take off. So we all get together. So people are drinking, people are eating, whatever, and we go to this trailer. It's about 50 feet away, and we're outside of it, and we're there, and Joe's there, and we start rocking the trailer. Hey, we start rocking it, and the guy looks at me through they have a bed in the trailer, and it has a little window right there, and he's looking at me, and he's going, no, go on, yeah, and I'm going, yeah, Stage 5, motherfucker, yeah, and I'm pushing the trailer, and just acting a fool. Somebody says, fuck it, let's go inside the trailer, fuck it. So we bombard the trailer, and we go inside. Not saying they were trying to do anything. I don't know what was happening. I wasn't the first one in, but we go open up the door and we get in the trailer. I have a speaker with me. We throw on music, and we have this impromptu
trailer
party. Everyone's passing around drinks, throwing food.
I don't even think we really had that many drinks.
We start. Perla likes to downplay it. We start moving the trailer, and the trailer is very, it'll stay steady and everything, but you don't want to be unnecessarily rocking, and we're rocking the shit out of this motherfucker. See, and everything's kind of cheapy and finicky in this and we're standing on these counters, and we're in there for about 30 minutes and destroy, not to where it's irreparable damage, but I mean, fuck things up. And the guy had to sleep there that night. Destroy the trailer. That girl ends up leaving. Yeah, like in fun, like, oh cool, yeah, I'm gonna. And the guy's looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, party. And it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. I mean, we kept things really interesting that night, and we had a lot of fun. So
the moral of the story is, if you have something you're trying to set up and you're trying to have like a romantic meeting with somebody, don't tell Buddy to help you, because he will find a way to destroy it for his own amusement.
Well, I mean, maybe. So moving on. I think we've touched enough about keeping things interesting on a movie set.
I agree.
So now's the time. Well, before that, let's do it here. So now's the time for anybody that happens to be a family member of ours, any family.
If you're related to me or Buddy.
If you're especially related to Perla. My family's sick. We're sick people. All of the Calvo family, anybody really with true Calvo blood in them, they have a lot of problems. I was just explaining to somebody last night how we have gelastic syncope, where if
like
we
you made that up.
I haven't made it up, God bless it. Where if we it's not like Perla's made up asthma.
What about my asthma? I'll give you asthma.
It's not like Perla's made up asthma.
If you were,
yes,
you're such an idiot.
Gelastic syncope. Syncope, first of all, is when you.
Is that even the right pronunciation?
Please.
I hope it's not.
God
Buddy has
bless.
this thing where he
You're a
says
real
everything
nice girl,
wrong.
and I like you a lot, but for right
I'm
now,
gonna look it up.
shut up.
Thank you. Syncope, and I don't know how you say it. It's like when you faint. Gelastic syncope is a super, super rare condition, and we legitimately have this. I don't know how many of us have this, but I know a few of us do. I have it for sure. It's like
Syncope.
Yeah, okay. If you syncope, is that really how you say it? You don't know.
I just looked it up.
Okay, gelastic. How do you say gelastic? Is that how you
I
say
don't
that?
know. I don't know how to spell it.
Gelastic
You're making up
syncope.
words.
If you've ever seen the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and remember when those sons of bitches, weasels, they couldn't stop laughing, and if they laugh so much they die. Does everybody remember that? Is there anybody out there even fucking listening? When you watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the whole point at the end was for Eddie Valiant. Remember Eddie Valiant, that son of a bitch, to make the weasels laugh, and then they die of laughter. That's exactly what gelastic syncope is. We laugh so much. We have these laughing fits that not enough air gets to our brain. If there's anybody, a doctor or a nurse out there listening, that there not enough air gets to our brain and we faint. I'm legit. It's happened 100% to my father. I've seen, or my uncle knew about it, and it's been very close to happening to me on many occasions, and I have to stop myself. But I've seen my dad straight up, boom, hit the ground.
Yeah, it was really
and
scary, actually.
Him wake up and not know what the fuck happened to him. It's a legit thing. We have it. Anyway, so we're talking about the Calvo family and being sickos and being weirdos. So if there's any part of Perla's family listening, please tune off now.
I think we're safe.
All right. So nothing kills a relationship quicker than being bored.
Tell me about it.
Period. Perla, God bless. God, you know what?
No, you took
Has
too
so
long.
much cum been squirted in those eyes you can't see what's right in front of your face?
Yes. That's legit for Perla. You know, we're going to hear it one more time. Just in case she was talking over it.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep talking over it. Nobody wants to hear your jokes.
Has so much cum been squirted in those eyes you can't see what's right in front of your face?
God damn it. So
Was that Ari Gold?
nobody wants to be in a relationship that's boring, and nothing kills a relationship quicker than being bored. Nothing kills a date night, a night with friends, a movie night, so many things in life, but especially a relationship, in my opinion. What do you and your partner do then to keep it interesting, for fun? What do you do to have fun? Now we're gonna get to the bedroom stuff, you bunch of fucking perverts. But for right now, we're gonna start with just having fun. What do you do to keep it fun? Lena, Alice, if you're listening, George, Ben, Scott out there, and where's Scott? In Switzerland, Iceland. What the hell are y'all doing out there in 4 foot of snow to keep it interesting? You know what I'm talking about. So we love to laugh.
Yeah, in general, I think everybody should find joy in life, and laughter is one of the best ways to enjoy your life.
Yes, but like we really, and it comes. I mean, I'm sure Perla's obviously she has her own history of her family of what makes her laugh and whatnot. We don't necessarily have the exact same kind of humor.
Buddy has a real strange sense of humor.
But we love to laugh.
But I appreciate it.
In general. And I'm talking about all sorts of different things. So prank calling people, and Perla likes to act like she's not a part of this, but just by not stopping us, she's a part of it. Prank calling people. I recently posed as an addict at the Narcotics Anonymous convention.
To his benefit, Buddy has been clean and sober for 35 years.
Well, I've never done anything, but
Well,
yes,
you're
that's
clean
what
and sober.
So I went there and I told them my name was Charles Parsons and that I was an addict, just for shits and giggles, just for laughs. So I've been to a bingo parlor once, acting like an idiot. We recently, my father told a car dealership that he wanted to buy a van, a $40,000 van, and he had the salesman drive from Bluebonnet Ford to my house. He's pranking me now. All right, you want to fuck around with me? Well, I took that salesman who thinks he's making a sale. Who would drive that far? First of all, shame on the salesman. What kind of fucking idiot are you? Coming from Bluebonnet Ford here. No one's going to buy that goddamn van. No one's going to buy a van. You driving all this way over here, sir, you moron. So he comes to my house and I said, all right, you want to play a game? I take him to my cousin Patty's house, telling him, well, Patty's the one who really makes the decisions. And he said, oh, really? No, sir. Why would you think that's true? What planet are you from? That now we're taking you to somebody else and they really make the decision? Shame on you. Anyway.
What does that have to do with us, though?
We're talking about keeping things interesting.
Oh, yeah. But he's always up to hijinks.
Perla wasn't there for that one.
Actually
Fiesta stand. We did a Fiesta stand.
So we have one of our things that always keeps it interesting with us is that we are always open to crazy business ideas. But whatever, like sometimes things start off as just jokes. And I let Buddy have his jokes and I kind of sit back and I don't do anything. But for whatever reason, this Fiesta stand thing popped up. He made his cousin call to find out how much something was to rent. And then it kind of started spinning my wheels. And I was like, this could be a great idea. And then I spit out some stuff and he was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea, which it wasn't. But we are always open to try something because why not? What else were we going to do? I mean, we went to Fiesta still and we had fun. But then we tried this business venture that was not worth it and it was exhausting, but we always are up to try anything new to keep it interesting.
So the Fiesta stand, strip clubs, anybody out there go to strip clubs and like you specifically like don't go with your significant other, like it's a guy's thing, or I guess the girls, it could be a girl's thing too, obviously, of course, me too, why not me, whatever. We go to strip clubs, or we've gone to strip clubs together. Throw parties. We throw a lot of parties and get-togethers here, themed Halloween parties.
There's always something happening at our
always.
house.
So we just had a party last night for my cousin JJ. Happy birthday, JJ. New places to eat. We go Goodwill shopping just for kicks.
I don't like that.
Work out sometimes together. Movie nights, road trips. So we just went to fucking New York. We work together, so we're constantly being creative. We're constantly creatively challenging each other because we're here working together. And then as well, it's very important to take time to yourself. But before we get to time to yourself, we also love to dance.
We do love to dance.
Y'all saw our last video.
The promo, yeah.
The promo.
And that, just so everybody knows, that was not something we forced. We were out and we were just having fun. And Buddy always has his phone out to record things because
we're partying. We're out there fucking doing it. We're at the Brass Monkey. Shout out to the fucking Brass Monkey. If you haven't been out there, last Friday of the month or the first Friday of the month, the Brass Monkey is fucking tearing it down. If y'all want to go out there with us last Friday of the month, the first Friday of the month, don't talk about it, be about it. We'll go out there with you.
We did not go this last Friday.
Perla, don't kill my fucking thunder. We will go out there. We will dance you under the table.
Perla can talk to yourself.
Perla can drink like nobody's business.
Not true.
It is. And I'll out dance you any day of the week. I mean, I might not be better than you, but I'll just stay on that guy. I mean, I'll literally stay on that dance floor. So anyway, the point is we're up to shit. We're open to new adventures. We're open to having fun. We usually always say yes, like fuck it, let's try it, let's go. And we're not the only ones. Our friend Lena, our friend Patty, we have my cousin Patty. We have our own little group that are always open and up for shenanigans.
And what's my saying? I will try anything once and twice if I'm not sure. So we're always up for the adventure.
Always. That's the PG stuff. So we're always doing shit. Very rarely are we here chilling. And it sucks because it sometimes seems like, oh, we're just going to be here watching a movie. And we very rarely get to. We were supposed to watch shows yesterday.
We were supposed to watch a movie last night and then it was like one joke after another. None
of that happened. And we ended up having a blast. But moving into, so that's how
HEP Chronicles.
That's how we keep. That's right. That's how we keep things interesting in a PG arena.
Just average everyday life.
Average everyday life. Nothing sexual. Just your average bullshit. So before we even get to the bedroom stuff or the sexual stuff, it's important to keep your relationship and your friendship, your relationship, your marriage interesting to begin with. Not just focusing on, how can we keep it interesting in the bedroom? And then as soon as we're out of the bedroom, we don't do shit. All we do is eat, sleep, work. And come on, get the fuck out of here. Life has to be about so much more than that.
We have a good comment here from Alice. She's got her life figured out. She said,
Let's hear it, Alice.
"What can I say? I have my Mexican version of Tarzan. We joke a lot and, of course, porn."
There you go. And that's that. And Alice is legit. So that's a very good segue. Here we go. Let's hit it.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm here for the gangbang.
So moving into the bedroom stuff. So you've got to keep it interesting in the bedroom as well. So since I love to talk so much, I'm going to open up and give it over to the boss.
What?
You got to keep it interesting in the bedroom as well. Perla, how do you keep it interesting in the bedroom?
So if anybody listened to last week's podcast, which is available on iTunes and Spotify and I think Google, we've been together for now 13 years, dating, married for 3.5. And you hit a point where it's like, okay, well, you're cool and all, but what can we do to make things more interesting? So one of the things Buddy did for me, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, he surprised me. And thank God he didn't do it in front of his family for one of my Christmas gifts. But he surprised me with a subscription to Adore Me, which is that online subscription that sends you like lingerie and you get to pick it, whatever. So that's like one way to keep things interesting.
Has anybody ever done that, Adore Me? Or has anybody ever, what else could you do besides Adore Me, like Victoria's Secret?
I mean, you can go buy stuff all the time,
but
Adore Me's a lot of effort.
Adore Me's pretty cool. I don't know how I saw it. I think I saw it online because it was a total surprise.
It's a commercial or something. Or you asked somebody.
I saw a commercial or something,
and
I see all these women on there in lingerie, and I said, it's like a no-brainer. Like, if so let's just say me, because we're talking about me. If I want Perla to wear more lingerie is kind of expensive. I'll pay for the lingerie, and I think I paid for a year or 6 months or
it was a year's worth
something, and I paid for
a
the
monthly
whole year, and then Perla gets to tell him, or Perla gets to pick out or something, right?
Yeah,
what she wants, and it's fun for everybody involved. So we're fucking, we're doing it. All right. So the Adore Me thing was cool. Perla, what else did you have?
Another way we keep it interesting. This is just a fun story. It's a funny story of strange night of events. I stopped working at a car dealership that I was at forever, and I started working at Nordstrom Rack, and I made really good friends with this one girl. So the very first night that she wanted to go out with us, she was like, "Hey, let's go out and do something." I said, "Cool. Buddy will drive us. He doesn't drink, so we can go have a really good fun time." And I don't know how it happened, but somebody invited us, and they said, "Hey, come out to this place. We have free drinks." So we go to meet these people. And we walk in, and I've got this girl who I've worked with for a few weeks, who I've never been out with before.
She's cool.
She's one of my favorite people in the world. And we walk into a swingers club. And it was the funniest thing because she doesn't know me and Buddy that well. Like, she doesn't know Buddy. This is the first time she's met him. First time we're going out with her. I don't know
what
her.
She's really thinking.
And she's just cracking up, and she's going with it. And she's like, "All right, whatever." And we're laughing because there's these half naked people, and we're there just like, what is going on? But we're here, so let's just sit and watch the shit show. And we stayed for maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes to an hour. And
then we ended up going to the Bonham. So
it was cool though. If you've never been to a swingers club, it's like a regular club. Not as nice though. It's like a regular.
They don't serve drinks.
It's like a regular club. They don't serve drinks. They sell all the stuff, or they serve all the stuff for you to mix with the bottle that you bring in. And there's a dance floor and the projector and loud music. And okay, this looks like a shittier version of a nice club. And then the guy walks by with his dick hanging out.
No, it wasn't that extreme.
It wasn't that extreme, but that does happen. And there could be a girl.
It was just more like topless women.
A woman
That's
walking
what
around
it was.
with topless, and it's like, holy shit. And Perla's friend is totally cool. Like, I'm sure maybe some things were running through her mind, but she certainly didn't say, "Oh my God, how dare you? Why would you bring me here? This is disgusting." She was laughing, and we had a good time. And, have we been back to a swingers club before, after that, since then, Perla?
Anyways, it was a really funny time, and we ended up at the Bonham, and I think we just drank
The end
and
of that
got
night,
wasted.
wasn't I carrying somebody
So
at the end of that night?
we had these ridiculous outfits on because we were going to go out and we were so young and we were so excited to go party and get
They were slutting it
ridiculous.
up. They were looking.
And I think Buddy ended up, because I was drunk and my feet hurt, that he ended up carrying me over his shoulder while my friend like just traced behind us, and we came home and that was it.
So if you're listening right now and you have questions for us for anything we've said thus far or comments or whatnot, that's the whole idea, for you to interact with us. If you have a question, Perla has her laptop right here.
John Graham just said, I just got here and what did I walk into?
There you go, John. That's what that girl said when she walked in. You know what? I'll give you what you walked into, John.
Has so much cum been squirted in those eyes you can't see what's right in front of your face.
That's what you walked into, John. Not literally. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to ask us something, if you want to put us on blast or put us on the spot,
Don't put us on blast.
this is your chance to get on right now. If you know someone, like you have that brave friend that's like, I'm not afraid to ask, tell
your
them
mouth,
to
Nina.
tune in right now and tell them to go ahead and ask us a question and we'll answer your question. This is your chance to get a question answered. And by the way, I have this thing that I want to do because I've never done it. Perla says it's not cool or not interesting. I want to light this candle. And
If y'all
get
got to watch our promo that we made this last one about keeping it interesting, we did the Target video and then we did this other little one where Buddy tied me up. We thought this was funny for the video to have it because that's like a very
Give me that match over there.
like
She doesn't know what
typical
she's saying.
sexual thing that people are like, oh yeah, let's
I
drop
want
some
to.
hot wax on you.
I want to light. That had nothing to do with what I was saying. I want to light this candle.
Yes, that's why
and
we
I
have
wanna
a candle.
this. I want to have the candle. I want to see what the whole deal is with candlelight.
I'm not into this.
I'm not into it at all, but obviously there's a lot of sick bastards that are. So I want to
Has
see.
anybody ever had hot wax dripped on them?
Yeah, has anybody out there ever done the hot wax thing? If there's
I've
enough
had
of
my legs waxed.
if there's enough of y'all that want to see some hot wax go down, I'll take some hot wax on my hand or something. We'll see, but only if people want to see it. If nobody wants to see it, then I sure shit don't want to do it. So my point is, the Swingers Club happened. Who knows if we've been back since? Who knows if we're lifetime members? Who knows if
We're
you
not lifetime members.
if you walk into the Swingers Club here in San Antonio, is there a picture of me for?
There's no photos
Perla?
allowed.
Is there a picture of me on that wall saying?
Do not let him enter.
Hey, God bless it. No, that's not what it says. It says of the month, customer. Anyway, you need to understand going through life miserable or wanting
Being bored.
is no way to go through life. Wanting to cheat or be with someone else is just as bad as being with someone else.
True.
Wanting to cheat is just as bad as cheating. This is my opinion. Wanting to cheat is just as bad as cheating. If you're in a relationship and you're not having sex, that's not normal. Either you're going to end up cheating, whoever's not having sex, or not cheating and being miserable. So you have to keep things interesting. So get what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, we don't have sex anymore, or we only have sex once a week, or we have sex once a month, or we haven't had sex in 6 months. Yeah, that's not normal. It's not. Now, ruts. Hey, so-and-so might have had their period, or somebody broke their leg, or somebody just passed away. Ruts, life, work, that happens. You cannot use that as a crutch like, well, it happens to everybody. Yeah, a lot of things happen, and you have to get over it. But you cannot spend days and days and weeks and months just not having, because what's going to happen? You're eventually gonna want, that's a very human need, and you're gonna want that need fulfilled, and you're either gonna go elsewhere to find it and end up cheating and hurting your significant other and fucking up your relationship and all that jazz, or you're not going to do that. And you're going to be bored and miserable for the rest of your fucking life. And that's not the way to do it, man. That's not the way to go through life. Perla, you got something over there?
Ben Tolson said if you have 6 kids, once a week is pretty good.
Oh, fair enough. If you have 6 kids, once a week is pretty good. I get what you're saying. There's different circumstances. So whatever is regular and enough for you, just make sure you're doing it, man. And if you're not, try communicating. If that's a person you want to be with and that's your significant, try talking like an adult and saying, hey, we got to fucking do something. And if you're into some kinky, weird ass shit, man up. Or if you didn't say man up, what would you say for a woman? Woman up? What would you say?
Speak up.
Speak up and tell your significant, hey, this is what the fuck I'm into. And let's see what we can do about it. Let's see if we can make things happen. You want to try it. And don't be so scared. You know what I mean? Try it. What's your saying again?
I'll try anything once and twice if I'm unsure.
There you go. So she's unsure about a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
He said the problem didn't lie with his small penis, but rather with your big vagina.
Yeah, gotcha. God
Larry
bless
David's the
it.
best thing in the world.
And we're talking about trying things, trying new things, being out there, being adventurous, and not being bored. For instance,
let's hear it.
me and Perla saw, or it might have been me, might have been my idea, but I thought we saw this documentary, or we saw this post, or it was a little video online, or I don't know where the
I don't
fuck.
know where he's going with this, guys.
Where this couple did a Tinder off. Where was it?
I was reading an article. I read an article. I think it was on like Cosmopolitan
There's
or
no
something.
fucking wax here.
It's a dripless candle, I think.
There's no
I think
wax.
we bought the wrong
shit.
candle.
There's wax coming. Okay.
Oh, cancel. So I read this thing about on Cosmopolitan where they were like, oh yeah, my husband and I don't know what it was. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Basically, the journalist said, my husband and I decided to see who could get on Tinder and be honest with their Tinder matches and get the most matches. That like, who could get matches but then say, oh, by the way, I'm married. Do you still want to go out? And see what they would say. And so
we saw that, and me and Perla got into the idea of we should both have a Tinder account. Who the fuck cares? I mean, saying it like that or telling somebody, it's like, oh my God, who cares? It's nonsense. It's fun. It's life. One day I'm going to look back and say I didn't have it because I was scared of what? Scared of what? What do you think?
Because you're married?
Yeah, but you get my point. It'd be one thing if I was doing it behind your back, but if we're doing things together, I mean, I don't give a shit about nothing. So here we are, me and Perla. First thing we did, we both make a Tinder account. And we didn't necessarily have a Tinder off, like a bet of who's going to get the most, because we know who's going to win that. We know who's going to win that bet, everybody. You know what I mean?
Do you know who I am?
That's right, baby. So we both have Tinder accounts. I no longer have my Tinder account. I think Perla still has her Tinder
it's still
account
open. I haven't
because she's a pervert. Perla, how many Tinder
matches?
Sure.
At one time?
Yeah.
I think my highest was like 104.
104.
That doesn't mean I talked to anybody, but
104 matches. You know how many matches I had?
How many?
Well,
in your lifetime of Tinder, how many matches did you have?
Okay, in my lifetime of Tinder, I probably had about 10, maybe 15, probably closer to 10. But at one point, they said that there was a rumor going around that I was the most hated man on Tinder.
It's true.
I got nothing from no one. But it was cool to see how the whole Tinder thing worked. I mean, I was at the beginning, I was trying to take it serious. Like, let's see if I can really compete with Perla. And I think in day one, Perla got 22 matches. And like, it was week 6 and I got my first match. And, to be fair, I believe she was handicapped. And somebody was working. Well, I think it was true. I'm being dead serious. It didn't work out. We didn't end up talking. But you get my point. I mean, I was beat by Perla very badly, but it kept things interesting. It was fun. It was a fun thing to talk about.
And for anybody who is out there who is single and on Tinder and saw either one of our profiles, thank you for not calling us out.
I don't give a fuck.
Just kidding. Lena called us out. So our friend had a Tinder.
That's right.
And she sat us down in a very serious way and said, guys, is there something you need to tell me? Because she saw both of us.
So, Lena busted us on there, and Lena's real cool because Lena was like, who gives a shit? I mean, you guys are out there having fun, having a blast. And so, Tinder, we had some fun on Tinder, and who knows, I might open up my Tinder account again, see if I could fucking, in 2019, come back with a vengeance. But what am I going to do? Like, if somebody says, hell yeah, we saw you on Tinder, or we, my cousin or my brother who just joined says, I saw that you have a Tinder account. Number one, I don't give a fuck. You know how many crazy things I've done in my life? You think a Tinder account that's the least of my worries. Number two, what am I going to do though if I did find like a really cute girl and she matched me on Tinder and I'm like, hey, my biggest thing was like, well, if a woman tells a guy, I'm married and my husband's okay with this, we're partying, 99% of the time, because Perla was telling all these guys this to see what, and they'd be like, hey, rock and roll.
Cool.
That's cool. The 2 times I think I talked to somebody and told them we even got that far, man, this thing literally doesn't drip. It holds to their word. It got that far. They said, fuck you. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking for someone to be a father to my kids. Where are all the chicks at that are trying to party? But I was trying to tell Perla too, what if I did find a chick that said, oh, I'm down to party, I'll go to your house tonight? I mean,
We cross that bridge when we get to it.
you see what I mean? You see why I married her? God damn it. Yeah, we're talking about Tinder, things we did to keep things interesting. Of course, you have the other, there's so many things. What's interesting to somebody? You have the Megaplex. Going in the Megaplex and everything you can purchase there at the Megaplex if no one's ever gone. You can have
They have some pretty ridiculous stuff there.
You can have a hell of a time there. They have sculpting stuff. You could do a whole sculpture. I got wax in different places. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
The Adore Me. We're
losing
talking about
me.
Adore Me. As a matter of fact,
Jonathan Graham had a very good comment.
John,
over
what do
here.
you got, John?
As long as it's not like illegal, don't kink shame.
That's right. Kink
Right?
shame. I like that.
Is that a word? Is that
I
a
didn't
thing?
know that was a word, John. Kink shame. I need to get a shirt that says "Don't kink shame
Don't
me."
kink shame.
Fuck yes. Thank you.
Everybody's
Jonathan
into
Graham.
their own thing. Everybody's
Just be into something.
yeah. And if you're not, then I guess that's okay too. I don't know.
It's not okay because you probably are. If you think you're not into something, it just means you're not comfortable sharing that something that you're into with somebody else. If you think there's been several female friends that I've hung out with and that they say they're married or they have a boyfriend, and they always say this weird thing. They say, my husband doesn't need to jack off. He doesn't masturbate. He doesn't do whatever. He has me. No one, it's not like that. It doesn't work like that, at least for guys. It doesn't matter. There's a famous saying that says, show me the most beautiful woman in the world. Now, this is just from a guy's standpoint. This is going to go against everything. Everyone's going to get up in arms about Me Too or the Gillette shit. This is a quote. It's not Buddy Calvo saying it, so chill out. Show me the most beautiful woman in the world, and I'll show you a guy who's tired of fucking her. That could go for a girl, too. Show me the most handsome man in the world, and I'll show you a woman who's tired of fucking him. The idea is, hey, man, I can only eat pizza for so long. I can't eat pizza every fucking day of the year and still be thrilled about pizza. I love pizza. Sometimes I'm going for some fried chicken. You know what I mean? Sometimes a breakfast taco is going to do it. I like meatloaf. I like macaroni and cheese. I love pizza, but you know what I'm talking about. Give me a break. I was just telling somebody the other day when it comes to me and Perla, don't ever, 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 ever show up to our house unannounced. Because at any moment you show up to our house unannounced, if we didn't answer our phone, God bless it, and we didn't answer our texts, any moment you come to our house unannounced, especially if the sun's gone down, there may be 2, 3, 4, 5 couples running around here nude, totally naked. She shakes her head because she has class. You know what I mean?
Class.
Class.
I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's
God
face it.
bless it.
That's too long of a quote. That killed it.
Hey, Perla, it didn't kill it. So you get my point.
No, the joke is just I forgot what the joke was.
Don't show up to our house unannounced because you don't know what the hell we have going on here.
Usually I'm asleep.
Yeah, she's asleep, all right. You can give her a few minutes in and we go to town. Anything that can happen. But,
that, you
but
creep.
anyway, you said you would creep. Anyway, anything you do to keep it interesting, and like I said, we do. There's a whole lot of stuff that we do that wouldn't be appropriate to share in here. Maybe it would. But anything that you do to keep it interesting, anything that you do to keep your relationship fresh and not boring and whatnot, hats off to you. But just make sure you're doing something. Especially if you, if it's past the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year mark, you gotta be creative, man. You gotta be inventive. There's a reason there's 10,000 different recipes for a hamburger. It's still a fucking hamburger, but we're trying to spice it up. We're trying to do something different. We're trying to keep it interesting.
Has anybody out there tried anything interesting?
Yeah, has anybody out there tried to do something interesting? Lena, are you on here, Lena?
She said she likes to party.
Yeah, well, try to be more vague.
When are you going to take live calls?
We don't have that yet, but we have comments. So we have comments right now, and you're not even commenting something interesting.
Oh, don't be.
So anybody that's on there, Lena, I know out of everyone, you could probably throw me a bone here. Give me something that's on the top of your head. Anybody out there as well? See, that's what.
I guess my question is, if anybody out there in a relationship and know exactly what we're talking about, like when things get stagnant and having to mix it up.
Yeah, What are you comfortable saying? Or you can even say like you didn't do it, but you heard. You know what I mean? I hear some people do this. Makes me think. Perla showed me this quote or this meme, and it said something like, "It's not my fault that you have to wear a dog collar and have your nipples pinched and have your blowtorch and walk over hot coals just so you can get off." But that is, I mean, I don't don't kink shame. I mean, that it's not my fault. You know, if that's what it takes, fuck it. That's what it takes, man. We're partying. We're on this planet, if we're lucky, 60, 70, 80, 90 years.
I give myself 2 more.
And we got to do what we got to do, baby. You know what I mean? I'm going to make it do what it do. What do you want from me? I'm going all out.
I don't know what that means.
So there we are with keeping things interesting. Perla, do you have anything else with keeping things interesting?
No, I mean, we've made it 13 years, so I think we're pretty interesting.
We're pretty interesting. We're up for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously things don't always work when you try something new, but why not try it?
Why not try it? You know what I mean? We go head first. Anybody ever been birthed? Never mind.
Shut up.
All right. So I'm going to give this thing a shot. I don't care that nobody said anything. It's just making me mad now that there's not.
It doesn't drip.
It doesn't drip this
I think
way.
we bought the wrong candle.
But if I turn it over, it starts dripping. Look, can anyone see this out there? You see that wax.
Oh, there you go.
So
here we go. We got a response.
What
we go to the sex shop and I buy her sexy lingerie and maybe a new toy. That's one thing.
Who's this? Who's
boy?
Talking? All right, there we go, boy. There we go. That's
I think my brother just joined. Sorry.
Okay, I gotcha. We've been talking about church and the different churches we like to attend. Any of Perla's family?
Maybe he just liked it.
Any of Perla's family that is currently on?
No, okay, he did.
We're into the Latter-day Saints.
He didn't watch it.
Okay, never mind. So we're talking about the sex shop and dildos, and no, I'm just playing. Yeah, anything you got to do, man.
Buddy's been really wanting to pour this hot wax on himself.
I have. I saw something the other day on a movie called Couples Retreat, and some guy's getting wax poured on him, and I said, give me a fucking break. So we're gonna see what's up with this. Pro, will you try it after me?
No, I don't want anything.
You just said, you see that? What did she say?
I don't want to do. That's not interesting to me.
No, you said you'll try anything once and twice if you're unsure. So don't be a chicken.
I don't want to though.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna see what the fuck's up.
It's supposed to be like.
Oh, that's not cool.
I'm gonna fall out of my chair. You're dumb. I get my eyebrows waxed all the time. That wax is hot enough.
Yeah, I don't know about this. There's nothing.
Nothing.
What's that gonna do?
Nothing gonna arouse you with that.
Hold on, we're gonna try it one more time.
Twice if you're not sure. Exactly.
Twice if we're not sure. Let's try it somewhere else. Let's try it somewhere else.
On your sensitive part of your arm.
What does that mean? Okay, we're gonna try it there. That fucking hurt.
Can I do it now? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want
Here, you do it. Let's.
I don't want anything to do with it.
All right. This is just hot wax on my forearm.
Your face.
Oh.
Your face is so.
It's not that bad. It's just that initial hit. You know what I mean? The initial. Let me do it to you.
No, I don't want to.
I know you don't want to, but it's like anything else. This is like a Friday night. You know, like no, I don't want to, and then look what happens.
No, stop, no.
Ouch, ouch! You're on my hair. All right, let's see what we got here. We got to put your arm. Put your arm right here where people can see it.
I'm short.
Okay, here we go.
I don't want you to.
I know. You ready? She's gonna get mad later.
If it stains my arm red, I'm gonna be pissed. Ow!
Hell yeah! Now it's a party.
You're dumb.
Fuck it. I feel good. All right. So we are going to see it doesn't hurt anymore. It's all right.
That would not turn me on though.
Not at all. Don't be basic.
You're basic.
All right. So we are moving on. The hot wax thing.
I know John Graham said, get that noise Buddy just made and add it to the soundboard.
Which one? Yeah, right, for real.
I really do kind of hurt.
That's the smell of desire, my lady.
So we are moving on. We are talking about this movie we saw, this documentary. If you have any questions, any comments about
throw it on there. We'll reach your questions at the end.
Yeah, throw any questions, any comments you want on our Facebook Live right now. We'll read them and comment on them hopefully before the show ends. But we are talking about something called FYRE Fest. This was the
documentary is called FYRE. It was on Netflix. There's 2 documentaries out currently. One's on Hulu, and I think it's a few episodes. And then they have one on Netflix that's like an hour and a half. We watched the one on Netflix. Sorry, I had a lot of soda earlier. That's gross.
That was gross.
So gross.
Why'd you do that?
I couldn't help it. So anyways, keep it real interesting. So we watched it. Buddy had no idea what the Fire Fest was. I remember reading about it when it was happening and when it was like falling apart and everything. And I really thought it was called the Fry Fest. So that's how it stuck in my head. So we were looking for something to watch, just something mindless. And the trailers, like on the new Netflix things, whatever, that's things you should watch, new releases. And Buddy got so excited. He's like, oh, we should watch this. This looks really cool. This is what a trailer should do after that trailer conversation that we had. So we watched it. And Buddy, it was just really cool to watch Buddy be so shocked at everything that happened in it because I knew about it. I had read about it before. And he was just completely blind to the entire situation. So it was really interesting to see his reaction to it because that is like the biggest shit show I've ever seen in my life, that whole Fire Festival.
Fire Festival, if you guys haven't seen it, you said that the documentary is called Fire. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's I think
FYRE. And
Fire,
it's about these idiots.
The greatest party that never happened.
Just idiot. First of all, if you had enough money to get a ticket or whatever to attend, you should be smarter than that then. And all these youngsters or youngish people got their money together and they were taking planes and shit to.
No, it was part of the package. They would buy a package and the package included.
The package wasn't cheap.
No, they were crazy expensive because it was supposed to be exclusive.
So it was a very expensive thing, like I said. So all these people got their money together and they bought these tickets or whatever. And they headed out for this fucking festival. That was a complete shit show. That it's not legit. And just because Ja Rule was a part of it, give me a fucking break. I don't care about Ja Rule. And they put together this bullshit, and it was very interesting, an interesting documentary about this guy and how he duped all these people. And it's whatever. I didn't know that much about the Fire Festival. Maybe I had heard about it a little bit when it happened, but yeah, all these fucking for me, I say fuck it. That's what you deserve. If you're that stupid to let that happen to you, oh well, that's what you deserve. You know who wouldn't have been there no matter how much money? Me. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not gonna go. You're gonna go to some fucking island bullshit.
So, but John Graham has a good point here. It was the influencer culture that had to do with it.
Absolutely.
It was all. If you haven't seen it, like it is all led by influencers and like the models and stuff, and just having something seem so exclusive and exciting that you can be part of and buy your way into. And the kids who bought the tickets or the people who were there, a lot of them were influencers themselves, or they were very wealthy people who go to kind of really expensive, ridiculous luxury parties.
That shows how easily those stupid sons of bitches can be influenced and how crazy they are.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
That's right, Jack. You better believe it. So, Fire, Perla, what do you give Fire?
I give it a solid. I think it was pretty interesting. It was cool. That's a 4 popcorns.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. I think it was pretty interesting. I love pop culture. I love documentaries. I love nonsense.
She loves popcorn.
I love popcorn. It was really, really interesting. So I say 4.
I give it a 4 as well. 4 out of 5. All right, moving on. We just saw today. This morning. We saw something called Abducted in Plain Sight.
I'm obsessed with true crime. My biggest fear is being kidnapped. So I watch these things.
Who's gonna kidnap you?
I don't know. I'm an adult, but still, like that's one of my things that could happen. And I know, like I've watched enough true crime stories to know, like the clues I need to leave behind so that my like kidnapper gets caught. Like I won't get into the details, but I know how to make sure they get caught. And so when I saw this pop up on the new releases too, I really I said, okay, let's watch it. And I didn't watch a trailer. I just saw like the picture of it, and it's called Abducted in Plain Sight. Sounded interesting. We tried to watch it yesterday and that fell through. So we watched it this morning, and oh my gosh, what a total and complete mindfuck.
I guess the only thing that I would say is a mindfuck is it's a mindfuck of how stupid these people were. Granted, this is years ago. I understand that it's a whole different world, and then the small town they were in is that much more removed.
It's in Idaho, yeah, and it was in the 70s.
Is that much more removed from what's going on in the big city? But these people were borderline.
They were idiots.
They didn't have a lot going on.
I guess that's mean to say.
They were going
through a traumatic situation.
No, they were going through a traumatic situation because they were so stupid. I mean,
so the guy who's behind it, it's like he was such a good manipulator, or maybe these people were just that naive, and maybe it's because it was the 70s and people didn't know how insane people can be. He manipulated this family so perfectly. And I just don't understand it. Like everything they were saying, I would like sit back up and I'd be like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Why would you do that? That's not normal. That's sick. And I think it's because of things that happened in the 70s is why my parents never let me do anything growing up. I was never allowed to spend the night at anybody's house. Nobody was ever allowed to stay at my house. I wasn't allowed to be anywhere.
A lot of friends, guys.
So I didn't get to do anything because my parents were like, no, you have a safe home. You can stay in your home.
But these people, we're not going to spoil it for anybody because it just came out. But these people are thick-headed. You know,
the guy really, really fucked with them. Like he got
anybody can fuck with you if you allow yourself to really
set it. Yeah, he set them up so that he could like blackmail things, and I was going nuts.
I wasn't going that nuts. It's almost comical to me at how stupid people are. So you know, what can I do? If you're that stupid. No, I wouldn't say it in this case. If you're that stupid, that deserves what to happen to you. No, not for something like this.
People are so. This man was sick. He was disgusting. He was twisted. But these people, I feel so bad for them. They must have been so naive. And it just makes me sad. Like the entire story.
A lot of stupid people in the world. Perla, what do you give? What do you give that bad boy?
I guess I give it a solid because it was so shocking how shitty this person was. Watch it. I yelled at the TV a lot. I sat up and I looked at Buddy a lot of times and say, did that really happen? Are you fucking serious?
I wasn't there actually. But Perla gives it a 4 out of 5.
What do you mean? You were sitting right next to me watching?
You said that really happened like if I was there. I don't know.
Oh, I was
Perla gives it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 3 out of 5. It just because of, I guess, the content. It's so unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that it happened, but give me a fucking break. This is just a movie about people that don't have the mental capacity to she shit. Okay. And I understand that people are out there like that. What do you
I think it was just crazy because they were so naive. Listen, please watch it. Tell me that I'm not crazy, that I think it was good.
Oh, you're crazy.
But
how about no?
I'm going to delete
Dutch
that.
She won't do it.
But the craziest thing is that it wasn't like a short-term thing. This entire situation was over like 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years that he fucked with these people. Ugh. Drives me nuts.
So yeah, that was a movie
Sociopaths
called
are scary. You're right, Leslie.
Abducted in Plain Sight.
Watch it.
Yeah, whatever.
Report back on it.
So we were talking about keeping things interesting. The Alamo Candy and our reviews for this month's show, this month's Facebook Live show. We're gonna keep them coming. We're gonna keep doing these shows once a month. Hopefully, we really appreciate and love everyone that's been tuning in. Hopefully, our audience keeps growing and getting bigger. And like we've said so many times before, and if you listen to our podcast, like we've said so many times before, we're open to discussing just about anything.
If you're just tuning in, you missed some stuff.
You missed some stuff if you just tuned in. Yeah, you might have purposely just tuned in and you wanted to miss it. If not, you missed a lot of...
Has so much cum been squirted in those eyes you can't see what's right in front of your face.
I just got that one today, guys. Is
it Ari Gold, though? Is it from Entourage?
No, it's Ari Gold, baby. That's
been in a lot of
Ari
movies.
Gold, the man. So anyway, we're trying to keep it fresh. We're trying to keep content flowing on our page, on our Facebook Live, and within our regular Facebook page, within our social media. So we have a lot more coming up for this year, for 2019. We talk about keeping it interesting. I mean, this damn podcast.
Oh yeah, that was our biggest thing that we forgot to talk about.
Look what we did. This is how much we
needed to do something to keep us interested in talking to one another, and we made. So we started a podcast.
So yeah, if you have any topics, if you have any ideas, if you want to just talk to us. I mean, it's not like we're famous. Most of y'all know our number and you could text us or anything. But if we were famous, we'd say stuff like, if you want to talk to us, drop us a line on our Facebook or send us a comment and maybe we'll get back to you. Of course we'll get back to you. I mean, what the fuck else? How would we not get back to you? Of course we are.
You can find us on all of our social media at TBWC Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's it.
Is that all we have?
Yeah. We have a YouTube page. I need to start uploading more of this stuff to it. How about our promos? Do you appreciate them? Because it doesn't take us a long time to do them, but we think they're funny and we're amused by them.
It does take us a long time. It's a lot of work, and we do it for y'all to try to keep you interested. You want us to do something else, you perverts? You want us to sacrifice some kind of animal? What's wrong with you? You sick in the mind? We wouldn't do that unless it would guarantee people would watch. There's a lot more coming for 2019. Perla, do we have anything else?
I don't know. What did we learn today? We learned that we like Alamo candy. We learned that we'll try anything once.
We've done a lot of sick stuff to each other, people. A lot of sick stuff.
We learned that you have to stay interesting. This is really boring. I forgot where I was going with it. So
this is what I deal with. She lost.
My brain is going. It's doing this at any given time. There's all these different topics in my head.
So for that, I'm Buddy Calvo.
And I'm Perla Rivera.
Thank you all for listening, and tune in to our podcast this coming Tuesday. All of the live shows that we've done, all 3, will be released this Tuesday. So you'll be able to listen to them over and over, download them, subscribe, Google, iTunes, all that jazz. And our new podcast will come out the following Tuesday, next week. And we have some cool,
5th, February 5th?
We have some cool guests coming in this month. And, we're going to be kicking ass. So keeping with the theme of today's interesting podcasts, we will see y'all later.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
And then y'all can still hear me, sorry.